What's up YouTube, Barcode here, bringing you another Heir of Light video. This video is going to be about the 5-star select summon and some Nat 3s and Nat 4s to focus on for specifically Omen for new players or returning players that need to rise to the top to get gear to get to the highest level of Omen. I want to real quick go into the event tab, which is at the top left here, and I want to show you this new event that came out today. So it's the 1-year anniversary racing. Okay, the best way to get to it is from the rewards section at the bottom left and the 1-year anniversary tab. And typically with their type of events, you have to scroll down to get to the claims and of your rewards and the missions and whatever. You actually have to scroll to the right. So it's kind of confusing to me at first. I don't know if you have noticed that or not, but it's just confusing. Now, the big thing with this event is at the end of it all, you have a chance to get Fire Hide, Water Lido, Water Zeta, or Fire Spiegel for a free 5-star. That's awesome, right? Okay. This actually has a lot to do now. If you haven't used your 5-star select summon, this is a big deal, okay? Because I will explain why. Because there is only 3 characters that I would choose with the select summon if you're a new player. If you're a returning player or a vet, whatever, OG, there's other things to do with the 5-star select summon, like transcend someone that's your best character. But we'll go into that into detail a little bit coming up. So here's the deal. I didn't want to make a video on 5-star select summon because no one should really tell you what character to actually choose. But I'll give you some scenarios where you can think about what the best character you should choose. Every account will be different, especially if you're free to play, if you're pay to win, or if you summon a bunch and already summoned some decent Nat 4s and Nat 5s. It really just depends on what you need to fill your team comp at the end of it. So let's first get started on Combine. Combine? Is this like a football combine or combining? Yeah, it's combining. So let's look at what we have in Combine, okay? Water Hail, okay? Hail. Is it hail or is it hell, or is it halo? Whatever. Hail. I'm thinking like hail, like coming down from the rain. I'm tired. Okay, so water damage over time. He's a Nat 5, right? Or she, he, whatever. Defense of the tank. Gradually HP, heal, shield. Okay, it has an AoE silence, a wave effect increase of defense. Amazing character, okay? And it's free to play, obtainable, and you can easily transcend it to level 70, which is important. You can fuse or combine, 6 of these total and have a level 70 water support who does damage over time, heal over time, shield, defense, etc. I will go into that, why I'm talking about that in here in a little bit. So you're good on that aspect of things, okay? Not the support class, but those buffs, those debuffs, etc. Okay, so I bring up all those things for a reason, right? And the second thing that I want to talk about besides combines is team compositions. Okay, I talk about this all the time. A hero is nothing unless you have a good team composition. Now, I'm talking about mid-game, end-game type of stuff, okay? Because yeah, of course, an endgame player, one hero could probably wipe out a team of a lower player, right? We all get that. I'm talking about equal gear, equal level field, 3 versus 3 team comps, okay? Team comp is more important. Team comp and gear, okay? It's not about the hero. So what do you need for Omen? Because this video is specifically for Omen. I'm going to do a hide video. I'm going to do PvP video. Okay. For Omen, the safest thing for new players is for the whole team to have, a defense buff. Okay. Heal over time, a bigger heal, you know, single target, AoE heal, not just the heal over time, damage over time, right? A lower attack to the enemy if you can, and like a speed buff. You know, all those things are important when building new Omen teams, right? I'm going to talk about the characters that are great for Omen and early progression, because when you get in the mid game, then you can go to crit damage characters, ignore defense characters, and pretty much almost one shot or two shot Omen. Okay, when you start transcending to the third transcendence and the third awakening and then the fifth awakening, you're just going to be doing tons of damage. Okay, so you don't need damage over time then, but you do now. And I'll talk about the characters that you need. First, let's go into the top 3 5-star select summons, why I choose them, and then I will go into the Nat 4s and Nat 3s that you should focus on in Omen. Now, number 1 on the list. Now, this isn't in any order for the top 3, but this is the top 3. It just depends on who you're missing out of your team comp, okay? So, let's go with first on the list is Water Lenore. Okay, now this depends on when you get the 5-star select summon, what other summons that you've already have or have summoned. When you get this 5-star select summon, right, there's a timer on it. Save it till near the end. Make sure to summon everything else that you get from wards, from the quests, from the 3-starring of the map, the game guide, all those rewards. Make sure to save them until near the end of the timer, because if you summon a Water Lenore, then you don't have to use them the 5-star select summon unless you want to transcend it. But the thing is, when you're early player and new player, you need more characters, you need more team comp. I would not pick a character you already have to transcend this early in the game. It could benefit you, but it's better to have a full team comp, okay? If you want to do that, that's fine. But I'll talk about some Nat 3s and Nat 4s that you could use instead of Nat 5s. So really, it's up to you, but I still would not recommend transcending right when you're a very, very new player, okay? So that's the first on the list. She's a attack-based monster, has huge multipliers. My son actually pulled her. My 7-year-old son pulled her and does amazing damage with like 2-star, 3-star gear. Okay. Main thing she's good is because, like I talked about in combines, her passive, if an ally Anku is present, attack increased by 100%. That's crazy. Second on the list, we're going to go into 2 supports, okay? First support is going to be Fire Blavatsky, okay? Why? Because 1, legs, okay? 2, she's awesome. 3, she has damage over time, level 5 of fire on first skill. Second skill has a level 5 light and a level 5 dark. 3 dots. It's just killer, okay? She has a passive that anytime the tank is struck, support class and herself gain skill gauge 10% every 5 seconds. Awesome. Plus, look, if an ally Anku is present, defense increases by 100%. Another great reason, okay? If you use Blavatsky, okay, you use Anku, and then say you already pull Water Lenore or whatever, you know, just Blavatsky and Anku themselves, ignore defense champion and tons of damage over time. It's awesome, okay? Her ultimate increases attack of all allies and then defense breaks. So she should be built fast, right? Same with Anku, but if she is faster, she'll throw some dots out, whatever. The skill gauge of her will increase. She'll defense break, attack buff Anku if he hasn't used his second skill. And I remember, yeah, his second skill, which is an attack buff. And then boom, skill 3, ignore damage, attack buff, etc. Okay, so she's awesome, right? Damage over time is very important for early game Omen, like I talked about. So third person that I would choose with the select summon is Fire Spiegel. Okay, Fire Spiegel, why? Okay, awesome support, attack buff level 5, heal block, also has a wave effect. So a wave effect is pretty important. It's a decent attack buff that's over top of the max level 5 attack buff. It's a secondary attack buff. Not a lot of characters have them, and if you want that extra boost, Fire Spiegel is your man, right? He also has a heal over time and a defense buff for everyone. So now you can bring Fire Spiegel, a healer, a tank, and your nuker, okay? And you only need one nuker in a Fire Spiegel, especially like a speed-based nuker, because you fill the combo skill gauge of DPS class by 10% whenever an allied tank is struck, every 5 seconds, just like BLAVATSKY, okay? Huge deal, okay? Also, his ultimate is a defense break and a wave effect increase of speed. So if there's a speed buffer on your team, then it's another extra speed buff on top of that. Just, it's, you know, and Spiegel goes first. Maybe you do have a speed nuke with Fire Spiegel, and Fire Spiegel is a little bit faster, gets the defense break up, gets the speed buff, already got the attack buff, so now your nuker has a attack buff and a speed buff on a defensive broken character. Okay, so those three guys or heroes, I should say, are the 5-star select summons you should mainly focus on. Now it's going to be different with every single account. If you're pay to win, if you're free to play, whatever, it's going to be different. Why? Because other people are going to summon, it's all RNG. Some people are going to summon a Fire Spiegel. Some people are going to summon a BLAVATSKY. Okay, some people are going to summon Water LENORE. Now, think about this new event that's out right now. You can get Fire Spiegel, or you could get Fire Hide as your tank. You could get Water Zeta for another ignore defense, which I wouldn't because you have Fire and Q. You don't really need Water Zeta. You could get Water Lido. It's just amazing, right? To be able to get these free 5-stars and select them, you have a choice, and you can make a full team comp this early in the game. It's amazing. You have Water LEA, you have Fire Yanku, one of these 3, and then one of the 4 from the event. You pretty much have your team comp already. Now, I talked about what you need for team comps. So whatever you choose is up to you. But I'm giving you some Nat 4s and Nat 3s that you can fill that gap up with. And I'll talk about that now. If you don't choose Fire Hide in this event that is coming up, there is some good Nat 4 and Nat 3 tanks that you can choose from, okay? Now, you're going to need a tank right from the start. Go with Fire Omen, okay? He's pretty much your starter tank. He's going to just make him 5-star max. You'll be fine, okay? You can actually use him as food to 6-star something in the future, right? Or another good example is Light Ramon. You can 5-star max him, don't 6-star them. You can use Light Ramon as combined material for water, hail, halo, hell, whatever, okay? Those are the only 2 3-stars I would actually max out early game. Now late game, when you want a 6-star every single character in the game, you can, sure, but those are the only 2 I would focus on if you don't get Ishmael early. Okay, getting Ishmael, you have to just complete the dark quest line and you'll be able to get it. You know, follow the quest guide, the game guide, the world map. You'll get Dark Ishmael on the dark side. The dark side. So other tank to think about for Omen besides Ishmael, because all you really need is Ishmael or a Nat 5, whatever. but Ishmael will take you to every single Omen dungeon, is Water Executioner. Okay, Water Executioner, self-defense buff, has a glancing hit buff, you know, taunts the target, resilience to the team, defense increases by 140% when battling Omen bosses. You can use a Fire Executioner too if you want to do that, but I would just go with Water, so you can use for 10 and 11 and not have an element disadvantage in either one of them. So those are some Nat 4s for Omen. You could go with Light Enoch too. You could go with Dark Executioner. There's a lot of others, but those are the ones that I really want to focus on for tanks. If you're not using Ishmael, which you should probably, or if you're not using Firehide, which you probably should. Nat 3s and Nat 4s are great. Why? You can easily transcend them. You can awaken them a lot easier than a Nat 4 or a Nat 5. Okay, so which ones are good? Now, I'm only going to talk about 3. No, I'm going to only talk about 2, maybe 3 for Omen. Okay, and this is, I talk about these because it's the only, like, you can use them other places. Okay, like Gretel, everybody should know like Gretel by now. Just a ignore defense champion. Okay, you can transcend her level 70 really easy. Okay, much easier to obtain time wise. You're gonna need 4 ignore defense characters for stage 11 awakening dungeon later. So it won't hurt to build a like Gretel if you don't have Fire Anku, or if you don't summon another 5-star ignore defense character. Okay, these are just characters that'll get you through until you summon something better, right? Okay, so you could build like Gretel, right? Does good damage. Okay, easy to transcend, easy to awaken. Dark Wiggly, another good example, right? A damage received buff, team attack buff, also ignore defense. Okay, in one skill can get level 5 attack buff because of the passive. Just good. Okay, so the base speed of Light Gretel is actually faster, so I would recommend Light Gretel first. However, Dark Wiggly is good because you get a free dark tank, Ishmael, and having a mono element tank and nuker is very important, because you don't want to go in and bring Ishmael on a like a dark enemy, right? And then you bring like Gretel, that dark enemy is going to be focusing like Gretel immediately. So the tank your tank has to tank like the taunt away, right? And when your taunt is down, that enemy is going to go right back to Light Gretel, and Light Gretel's squishy. So I always talk about mono element tanks with your nuker. It's a great idea to do. The third character I would choose for Omen, if I chose any Nat 3s, is a ranged character, and it is like Grisette. Okay, defense break, second skill based on enemy's HP. Okay, and then the ultimate is a damage over time level 4. Having a level 4 damage over time on a Nat 3 is pretty good. So definitely go into those 3 for Nat 3s for damage dealers. Now for Nat 4s, it's definitely there's a lot. Okay, I'm gonna go into a couple main ones. Okay, and they're gonna be staples for your Omen teams, and that's Fire Lara. So if you pull Fire Lara, right, do you need Blavatsky? I don't necessarily think you do. Like, she'd be amazing, but you can skill up Lara way easier, and skill ups are important with damage over time characters because you need that full activation rate. Initially, you get 70% chance to deal fire damage over time. It's the same every single time, right? Blavatsky, I think, has the same thing, which we will double check, but if you have a Fire Lara in your summons, I wouldn't necessarily get Blavatsky, okay? Because you can get Water Heir, right? Yep, and hers is all 70% chance too. So you need the skill buns to max her out, for her full potential and with quickness of landing debuffs. Okay, so Fire Lara, easier to skill up. You know, she's just great, and she's a staple for early game Omen. Okay, now another character that I would suggest building is the Charlottes. So Charlottes are your Nat 4 ignore defense champions. Okay, Water Charlotte preferably, because you can use in Omen 10, Omen 11, and she's just awesome. Okay, and you can use her in PvP. I personally am building her right now. So I just 6-starred mine, maxed her out. I had so many Charlottes, right? So I used 5 fire ones. It's like fire and nature ones to 6-star her. So I got the skill ups from that. And then I'm gonna give 5 more skill ups when I transcend her to level 70. See, this is why Nat 3s and Nat 4s are important, especially Nat 4s. When you summon a bunch of the same, like, you can easily transcend it to level 70 and get all of the extra base stats, which is super huge. Huge. It's huge, man. It's huge, right? 75% attack, okay? And then more increase. It's just attack, 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 attack. It's just a lot of attack, right? And then they're much more easier to awaken, okay? Like, I can already start, I need to already start awakening it. I can already awaken this to the 3rd skill, which I'm going to do right now. That's how easy it is, boys. That's how easy it is. Look at that. Boom. You only need 15 Supreme Stones to get your necklace. Right? That's all you need. So that's what I plan on building. I heard she does at over 2 million with her ignore defense, with good gear. I'm gonna try to break that, but yeah, Charlottes are good. You know, the other ones, Fire's okay. It does ignore defense and does damage over time on a basic skill use. Dark would be another great one. It's just like Water has a lot more base attack than Water, but I don't have Dark, so I'm building Water, and I have a ton of Waters to transcend to level 70. I don't have 6 Dark Charlottes. Okay, so Charlottes are good, okay, for a Nat 4 if you summon a bunch and able to transcend like I'm going to. Okay, I'll talk about some PvP units later. So if you're thinking about a Nat 4 or Nat 3 PvP unit, you know, Fire Enoch. Okay, I'll just throw it out there, but I'll do a different video on PvP units. Okay, Light Lara, if you have the RNG to pull Light Lara is awesome. You can put her with Fire Lara and Light Lara together on a team, and then have another healer that has a damage over time, and then a tank, and you have your Omen team. It's simple as that. Okay, Light Usher is another she is another PvP unit I'll talk about in a different video. And then Dark Enoch. So Dark Enoch is actually really good. Okay, and can be used for PvP, but can be used for PvE as well. Has ignore defense on the ultimate, right? Deals damage based on enemies max HP, which is huge on a 2nd skill, by the way. And then increases damage received. And this passive on Dark Enoch, if you're able to pull Dark Enoch, 50% chance to reduce enemy skill gauge by 25% when using any skill. It's awesome. And if you have a rem tank, for example, attack isn't just increased, or any type of rem. But the passives are awesome. It's always about team comp, like I said. Just look into your passives, look into your skills, look into your marks, make sure they align together, right? Healers, okay? It's simple. You get a free Fire Maya, Fairy, Tinkerbell, whatever. You get a free one, right? Just go through the nature quests. Okay, so you have that 4-star nature. Now, you can use her in a Fire Omen. It's fine. It works. Whatever. I'm going to talk about some other Nat 4s and Nat 3s. I wouldn't select a 5-star healer for your select summon. I just wouldn't do it at all. It's just much more important roles Nat 3s and Nat 4s can do your roles just fine. It's not a big deal, especially for Omen PvE, okay? Nat 4s to think about, okay? Water Torino has a damage over time on first skill. HP heals all allies, okay? Super important in Omen, okay? Anybody with a healer that has a big heal and a damage over time is important for Omen, okay? The other healer I want to talk about is Fire Griselda. So Fire Griselda doesn't have a heal damage over time, but is still a good healer for Omen because defense buff for all allies, has a heal that's based off of defense, and revives a dead ally. For some reason, if one of your allies die, you can revive, okay? Third skill has immunity to all allies, and removes debuffs on tank class. So pretty good for a healer that doesn't have damage over time, right? If you have the RNG to pull Light Mary, then she's also a great healer, plus in PvP as well. Heals a single target, whoever's on under attack, defense buff for all allies, and a shield based off of defense to all allies, and then another heal on the ultimate based off her defense, okay? And this is important actually. So her passive, if an enemy hail is present, the target's speed is reduced by 80%. This is huge because everybody has water, okay? And that's kind of the meta in PvP from what it looks like. I have a lot of catching up to do to get to the top, but a super duper fast water hail AoE silences your whole team, then you're kind of screwed unless you have Forest Illusion, which is a counter and has immunity crit passive. Yeah. But Light Mary, another great 4-star hero. Now for 3-star healers, okay, this is important because this water 3-star healer can get you through the whole game, okay, especially PvE wise. Water Moria. Damage over time on first skill, big heal on second skill, increases skill gauge of all allies on third skill, okay. Chance to heal the tank class again by 10% whenever you use this. So make it fast with easy to skill up for this first skill to make it 100% activation rate before accuracy and resistance. Yes, okay. Even better healer you can bring everywhere, like Dunk. The Dunk, like Dunk, Dunkle Hound. Damage over time on the first skill, easy to skill up, tons of dunks, right? Big heal on second skill, which skill up you heal even more. A buff stripper on the ultimate skill gauge, I keep calling it ultimates, and a chance to increase damage received, okay. Another great healer, okay. And the Bella of Summoner War here is Dark Dunk, right? Defense break on first skill, big heal and a heal block on second skill, buff strip and a skill gauge of all allies on third skill, and then every time he uses a skill he increases tank's defense and reduces the enemy's defense by level 1. So just if he uses this first skill alone, you can get a level 4 defense break on a Nat 3. That's awesome. No other Nat 3 can do that, I don't think, unless it's on the ultimate third skill. So just a great healer. Those are the healers I would definitely focus on, those Nat 4s and Nat 3 healers, until you pull a 5-star one. Alright, so supports, right? You can get so many supports early in this game. Water Hail, you can even combine for Fire Belladonna's, which works, okay. You can get Water Hail, you can get Fire Spiegel from the select summon, you can get Fire Spiegel from this new event. So I'm not going to talk about any Nat 3s, okay. There's no support class that's worth to build. Maybe a dark one, but I'm not even going to talk about it. Definitely just stick with what we got, right? I'll talk about some Nat 4s, right? I talked about Fire Belladonna's, okay? she can be combined, right? She has damage over time for skill, level 4, heal block, speed buff for all allies, defense buff for all allies, reducing skill gauge of all the enemies while decreasing their defense. So it's huge. She's very good, okay, even for a nat 4. All right, another one, questionable. It really just depends on what you need. You could use her early game, Water Raynar. So Water Raynar used to suck back in the day, but now she's got damage over time, level 4, a heal block, a defense buff for all allies, and an attack buff for all allies while preventing buffs. So she's decent. I wouldn't necessarily build her depending, because you get water, hell, whatever, blah. I'm gonna call him so many different things, or her, whatever. If you have the RNG to pull like Griselda, she's decent for tank support, light damage over time for Omen, defense buff for all allies, removes 1 debuff from the tank or whatever allies under attack, right? Decent. Dark Mary is an awesome dark damage over time dealer and has a heal over time and reduces enemy speed, defense buff for all allies. So another great 4-star. Okay, but the 5 stars you really should focus on is Fire Spiegel, Fire BLAVATSKY, or Water Heir. Water Heir. So there's really no other supports that you would actually need early game to progress you in Omen. So that's all the time I have today. Thanks for tuning in. If you do like the content, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. I should have a new coupon code from CM Heir coming up, I think Friday. So make sure to tune in for that, because I'm sure you'll want that. So talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.